Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake. Sponsored by Dana Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early Break. Full show ahead. This Double Barrel Wednesday. Sean Callahan, Parker Gabriel, and the mailbag. Send your questions to earlybreak937@gmail.com. Hello. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you? I'm fine.
Good.
I'm fine.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I feel better today. I got some good sleep last night, and I got a nap in. Naps change everything when you have a little bit of a cold.
Okay.
So I feel better today.
Okay.
Not all the way back, but I feel a lot better.
All right, good.
Good morning to Harrison.
Good job.
See? How about that? Yeah? Our EP, we give you a shout out at 6:02 a.m.
Okay, good job. What else is going on?
Just to do some clearing out of the way here, the Red Sox did win last night 6-2 in the wild card game. The Yankees are done. The Red Sox move on. I didn't watch any of the game, but congrats to Boston for getting to Garrett Cole early. The playoffs are underway.
All right.
I have a question for you later when the spillover happens. About us, Connor and Mike about it too, but about
right.
baseball and you.
Okay. I
Yep.
look forward to that.
Good. Otherwise, just another day in the life today.
Yeah, we're plotting towards Saturday.
We are.
Huge game on Saturday.
It feels like the ticket prices are going up, and that's a good sign for Saturday. There's a lot of the demand, the intrigue for this game against Michigan is the most I've seen in quite some time. Like here's the deal. I'm curious.
Okay.
To you. Think about 2019 Ohio State when Nebraska was 3-1 going into it. They had just beaten Illinois in a comeback when they had game day here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people really thought they could beat Ohio State. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Nebraska, again, you were happy to be 3-1, but you had just crawled back against a very average to bad Illinois team to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the belief to actually compete in that game was very high. I mean, it was cool to have game day.
It was still a situation where we're still sort of in the bliss period of the Frost era.
Sure.
Right.
Then at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of felt like anything was possible, right?
Maybe. I don't really know if you talked to general people if they thought Nebraska could stay on the same field as Ohio State.
You're still sort of in this fantasy land, though.
That's fair.
I think deep down you're like, this ain't gonna happen. But I don't that Saturday I remember my thoughts were, well, maybe they can keep it close, But it was kind of awkward because it was incredible energy, and like you said, game day was here and all that. But you knew that there was a chance for impending doom,
and it was impending doom.
Yeah,
Nebraska got beat 48-7. It was never a close night game. They had the one drive where they had old school option football, tough football, and then they threw a pick to end that drive.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Ohio State was very machine-like.
Yep,
that's the deal.
Yeah, and for this one, again, I believe it's hard to say the buzz is higher because there's no game day here. You don't have Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, all those guys here to have the party before the game. But I think the belief going into this game is much different than that one, where you feel like, all right, this is a top 10 team in Michigan, but this is not Ohio State 2019. This is a very beatable team that doesn't make many mistakes. We know that Jim Harbaugh's squads are talented, but not unbeatable. And I just feel like if Nebraska wins this game, these guys will feel like they can beat anybody the rest of the way.
Well,
including Ohio State on November 6th.
Hold on. I think they should feel that way already. I don't know why would that change that. Why would this game change it that much?
Well,
they went to Oklahoma.
But they didn't win those games. They were in them. It's one thing to be in a game and close. It's another thing to win the game when it's all said and done. They have been close a lot of times. All these players,
it's a big difference.
All these players have been close last year. In 2019, they were close in a lot of games and lost the close ones.
But okay, I got it. But I think they're already confident. I don't know if I agree with you. First of all, just saying if they win this game, their confidence will shoot through the roof. I don't know. First of all, I think they're already confident.
I think they're confident, and then it goes through the roof when they win the game. Because you've been in again. You have been in these games. You have been right there with Michigan State. You should have won that game.
Right.
Oklahoma, you were right there, and you didn't do it.
Didn't their confidence shoot through the roof on Saturday?
Well, Northwestern is not exactly it's not the greatest team, and I'm happy. I'm not trying to say anything about that win. The result was awesome. How it went.
I think you're talking about yourself right now more than maybe them. Your confidence.
I speak for the team, though.
No, you don't. That's the thing. You don't speak for the team. Your confidence will shoot through the roof, right?
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys on that team that are already.
Well, they have been close against ranked teams. They have not done it yet. It's getting over the hump and winning that football.
But
game.
I don't know that it affects confidence. That's what I don't know. I think they're already confident. I don't even know if I want a team like
JoJo
that.
Domann said after the Michigan State game that it was testing their will.
I know
for being so close.
How's that relevant to this conversation?
Because if they win a game and they beat
it wasn't. That's
team.
not what was testing their will. What was testing their will is they got a gut punch loss in a weird fashion. I mean, they could come out of that game confident. What I'm saying is, I don't think it's healthy for you to speak for the team and say, yeah, their confidence will shoot through the roof, like they're not confident now. That's all I'm saying.
I think they're confident. I think they are confident, but through the roof.
You're speaking for yourself.
It's one thing to be confident, and through the roof is another one. It's a different level.
I mean, I think they'll gain. How about this? Common ground.
Okay.
They gain momentum. They'll gain momentum.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of momentum.
And then that game that we were terrified for at Minnesota, which is still going to be a tough game. It's not as scary anymore.
Because, it's not scary,
right?
It's not. It's not scary right now. No, where we disagree on this is, no, that game's not scary right now. What happened Saturday should have no bearing on the way you look at Minnesota. You're talking about yourself. I mean, it shouldn't have any bearing. Minnesota's not going to get a lot better or worse this Saturday when Nebraska plays Michigan. Minnesota's still going to be Minnesota. And you would think if Nebraska is a solid program, which we don't know, is that win or lose, the Minnesota game is still the Minnesota game. And they should go up there and win. It shouldn't be this, oh God, if they lose to Michigan, oh, here we go again. The season's going to go south. I'm giving the players more credit than that. I'm not saying that if they lose to Michigan, their confidence goes in the toilet. I mean, what kind of life is that? I mean, what kind of world is that? You don't want your team to be like that.
You don't.
Jake, you can be like that. You can, but you're not playing.
I don't think they'll go in the toilet if they lose the game.
Yeah.
If they get blown out, then I can see it. But I don't see
a
blowout
I
happening.
totally.
If they get beat like 38-7, which is not what anybody expects here, I don't think.
But if it's the game we expect, win or lose, I hope the players don't look at it like, oh, the Minnesota game's gravely affected now. You know, if they lose, is it? I just don't. I'm pushing back on that world. I don't get it.
Well, I'm just saying, even though think of Minnesota after week one, we sat on the show and said that's probably going to be a loss for Nebraska. Remember, Nebraska loses to Illinois. I know things have changed over the last month.
Minnesota has changed, yeah, and Nebraska. Our look at Nebraska's changed, right? But if Nebraska plays a close game against Michigan and loses, is your view of Nebraska going to change that much? This team. Your view of the season.
But I'm saying this: if Nebraska loses a close game, again, they'll be fine going forward. If they win a close game, this thing elevates quickly.
Momentum
is what I'm saying.
You think?
I think it will.
You think? I mean, you can play that game the other way too. We thought maybe after Penn State last year, okay, maybe they got something. Then what happened the next week? I don't know. I think you want to keep it week to week. That's why coaches preach that.
This is your chance to prove that you have grown, though, because again, last year that was disappointing.
I know.
To go from awesome Penn State win to terrible Illinois loss. This week again, you go from an awesome win, a blowout win of a Big Ten team in your division, 56-7. Everyone's surprised by that amount of blowout. We thought they might win comfortably, but not like that.
Right.
Not in that look of 60 minutes of dominance, which was awesome.
Right.
If they can back that up this week against Michigan and win it, again, I don't think they'll blow. It'll be a close game. I expect either way, a loss or a win, a very close game that goes down to the wire.
Right. Now, I agree with you. In extreme circumstances, I'm trying not to be difficult here. In extreme circumstances, the extremes, yeah, that can affect things. If they get blown out, yeah, I mean then I think confidence can wane, and obviously momentum is affected. If they would blow out Michigan, yeah, I mean that's probably a case where it would be almost sort of dangerous. You hope that they don't overreact to it, but and then waltz into Minnesota and get whacked,
Right.
thinking they're really good.
A sleepy 11 a.m. game.
Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, the extremes make me wonder, but anything that's close either way, you would hope doesn't affect the confidence of the players one way or the other, right? It might affect their mood and it might affect the next day, but you can't. I can't get on board with you on one game affecting the entire season. Except now, you could say really easily here, Sipple, you always talk about USC in 07,
right?
How that game took the spirit out of the program. It affected Nebraska emotionally, mentally, and physically, and they never recovered. Now, what if that? But that was extreme. And if Michigan comes in here and puts it to Nebraska and it's a physical domination, yeah, that could waylay the season. I just don't see it happening.
John Des Moines says it's in the text line 464-5685. Call or text as always. Says Jake is right. Beating a top 10 team would considerably raise whatever confidence the team currently has. Isn't confidence like momentum? It goes up and down based on your accomplishments.
I suppose. I mean, if they whip them, if they beat them by 21.
Well, then, of course,
yeah.
This place might go. This town might burn down.
I see what you guys are saying. I understand. I don't want to be difficult. I
think you do.
No, I'm not. Harrison. I don't want to be difficult. I'm just saying I would hope the team is confident right now. That I would hope that it's not a game-to-game situation, but I guess in some ways it is. But if they win a close game, should they be that much more confident? Now, I agree with you. Closing the deal is closing the deal.
Yeah. I mean, Nebraska has been in so many close games. They've been on the wrong end of it. And this team knows that. They know that, hey, we have been very close for quite some time now. There was close games last year, close games the year before that. And there's some bad losses, but there's been mostly close games and mostly close losses.
Mm-hmm.
You can really flip the script on that.
I guess.
By winning a close game against a top 10 team. Yeah, psychology is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. We're talking about psychology. I don't know. I've gotten more into that conversation as my life has progressed. I used to be very, what's it matter? I mean, you're going to show up and play a game on Saturday no matter what. The psychology of what happened to you the last week, I never got into that until about 10 years ago. I was like, okay, maybe it matters. There's team psychologists, for crying out loud.
Yes. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Before I get to Chris, John texts back in and says, he says this, keep speaking for us and the team, Jake. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I just wish I lived in a world.
Thank you, John.
I just wish I lived in a world that wasn't dependent on that sort of thing. If they lose, the season goes in the toilet. Wow,
no, I didn't say that. No, those words did not come out of my mouth for this game.
No,
I don't think the season goes in the toilet if you lose this game. Again, it's a top 10 team on your field. They very well maybe should win the game. I think Nebraska will win. I've said it all week long. I'll keep saying it till Saturday. Nebraska is going to win this game.
Yeah, I can't go there quite yet. Michigan, the more I talk to people, the more I look at them, they're a lot better than Michigan State, Jake.
Well, and Nebraska now maybe, if it goes this way again, may have upgraded their offensive line since Michigan State. Maybe. Northwestern looked like a totally different team.
You're going to find that out against
Michigan. I know. And if they perform well, I'm not saying they'll play perfect, but if they perform well and the pocket doesn't collapse at all times and they just open some running lanes, then, my confidence goes even higher about this team because you have 2 weak links, and that maybe you fix 1 weak link there, possibly. Mm-hmm. We got a couple phone calls coming in. Let's get to Chris first. Chris, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Good morning, Steve J.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Well, Steve, I'm good. Beautiful weather we're having this week. Hope it stays the same for the game Saturday night. Now, I noticed, Steve, yesterday I had some guys tell me that after I departed you guys on the phone that you wanted to ask me a question because I said I repeated, and I'm saying this again. I will be very disappointed in the fourth year of this regime if we don't win this game.
Mhm.
I think the table is set for us. We need in the fourth year of this regime, we need to win this game.
Okay.
The team is playing well enough to win. I truly believe that. I think we have the ingredients to win. Like I've said before, this is a good Michigan team.
Pretty good.
I've seen better Michigan teams, but this is a good one.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's. I think it's a legit top 10 team.
I do too. I agree. Now, I truly think that we have some question marks yet. Of course, we've beaten Fordham, Buffalo, and Northwestern. So this is a prove-it game. I like I've said, it's time for us to win a game like this. And we haven't beaten a top 10 team since 2016.
Yeah, that's right.
At home.
That's right.
And I just think that everything points in our direction in this game, and I hope it happens. And I don't know. I'll just be very disappointed if we don't win.
Okay. All right. Well, I can see that. You make a good case for that, Chris.
Well, Steve, I don't know. We've been waiting a long time to turn this thing around, and it looks like I do see improvement on this team. I do see vast improvement on the defense. The offense looked good against Northwestern. I do not think Northwestern is very good, but we're going to get a lot of questions answered this Saturday, that's for sure. But anyway, hey, guys, great show. And we'll be talking Monday about this game, and let's hope it's in a good spirit, guys.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm take you later. Buffalo's 2-3, the Buffalo Bulls.
They had a close loss the week after Nebraska to Coastal Carolina, ranked Coastal Carolina, lost by 3 that game.
And they lost last week to somebody not very good. Fordham 2-3. Northwestern 2-3. Yeah. I mean, this is a step up. Right. I understand what you're saying. Confidence, momentum, all that. Psychological mumbo jumbo. There's a place for
an important thing. Psychological mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, it is.
Put down.
I did 10 years ago. I'm more in tune with it now. This game is too close to call. I don't know if I can pick Nebraska. I haven't made that determination. What I'm concerned about is those stressors. That stress reveals imposters. All right, and if your special teams are stressed, if you need your special teams, are they going to be there for you in this game? Because look at the column on special teams when you compare these teams. Look at the column for the relevant special teams stats.
Okay.
Net punting, Michigan 18th, Nebraska 124th.
Don't like that.
Punt returns, Michigan 13th, Nebraska 125th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Punt return defense, Michigan 24th, Nebraska 129th. Okay. Kickoff return defense, Michigan number 2, Nebraska number 92. All the relevant special teams categories are in Michigan's favor by a long way. That's concerning. That's the team you might give an edge to in a close game.
Yeah.
The team with a very solid kicker, by the way, place kicker, Michigan. Very solid place kicking. I mean, it's hard for me right now, as I look at it objectively, to pick Nebraska in a game that's really close and stressful. Now, the scene, the atmosphere, now that's another story. McNamara, remember, he came on the scene, Cade McNamara, the Michigan quarterback, came on the scene last year in a COVID year when there was no crowds, and Michigan was 2-4, by the way.
They realized Joe Milton wasn't the guy, went to Cade McNamara.
Right, and he hasn't played in this sort of atmosphere. Don't tell me Wisconsin was this sort of atmosphere. It wasn't. I watched it. There were people streaming in.
That was weird. Wisconsin was weird.
Yeah, it was a sleepy 11 a.m.
It was.
It was 11. Yeah, it was 11 a.m. crowd, and it was sleepy. This will be a whole different deal for a lot of guys on Michigan's team. So I don't now that maybe that swings at Nebraska's favor. But you're going to see a team like I can't express to you how much better Michigan is than Northwestern.
Oh, they're a ton better.
Yeah.
And that's why, in terms of the crowd getting into it, Nebraska scored right away in that game, and the crowd was buzzing after a huge play to Toure. Then they scored 2 plays later. Boom, your crowd's alive. They're juiced. They believe. And it's important for the Nebraska to, if they get the ball first, to not clunk away a 3-and-out and look terrible doing it.
No.
That takes the buzz out of the crowd pretty quickly. It can if they go down and score right away.
Absolutely.
And I mentioned the offensive line. You're going to have a huge test against Aiden Hutchinson, who's got 5.5 sacks and 6 tackles for loss so far for Michigan.
Yeah, it's not just Hutchinson. It's David Ojabo too. Hutchinson's 6'6", 265, and Matt Lubick yesterday said he's the best defensive player Nebraska will have faced. And I'd say Michigan's the best defense Nebraska will have faced. Would you say Oklahoma maybe?
No, Michigan's better than Oklahoma.
Would you? Yeah,
defensively,
Michigan's much better than Michigan State. Oklahoma.
Yes,
defensively, Michigan is better.
But
Michigan.
But maybe you have patched up the offensive line.
Yeah.
That's the hope. And if that offensive line can not completely shut down those guys, but for the most part keep them in check and keep Adrian clean without him having to do Houdini acts to escape pressure and get first downs or just not get sacked. I mean, that changed a lot of the view of, again, to me, the rest of the season, though. It does.
Yeah. This is
because that affected these losses early on was poor offensive line play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I would agree with you on that.
They were close with bad special teams and bad offensive line play.
I would agree with you on that. If Nebraska's offensive line paves the way for the running backs to run for 200 yards and keep Adrian relatively clean, then I would say, okay, that's a game. Now I'm looking at this whole thing differently. If the offensive line shows up and does that, I will look at the season differently. If the offensive line shows up and Michigan asserts itself and is mostly dominant, I won't look at the season that much differently. See, the only way we're different, and so I'm not being difficult, is I'm a little more pragmatic about it. I'm not so emotion based. I mean, it's just, I don't like that world. I mean, whether the emo thing is always kind of repulsive to me. You know what I'm saying? Just show up and play no matter what. I don't care if you lose this game by 50. Go beat Minnesota by 40. Why does it always have to matter what your emotions are? We all got to show up every day.
There is a psychological thing involved here. Whether you like it or not, there is a psychological thing involved in this.
I know. That's why they have team psychologists.
Right. It is important. You can nix-nate all you want, but it is important psychologically when you have a team that has not made a bowl game in 4 years to win these games that they are an underdog on your home field when you have confidence and belief.
No, that's cute.
It's not cute. It's real. Before we get to break, we get to one last call from Vince in Napa. Vince, good morning. You're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
How you feeling? How are your emotions this morning?
But you know what my emotions are like?
What are they?
You know what I say? With Michigan, if we can't get along, we might as well get it on.
What's wrong with you, Vince?
Anyhow.
Where would that come from? Where would that line come from?
Lorenzo Neal, former NFL fullback.
Oh, Lorenzo. Yeah. Wow. What that name drop. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that, Vince.
Anyhow, well, I mean, he didn't usually say it with that type of emotion, but anyhow, he's famous for that one because
he's famous.
He's on Bay Area radio out here. But anyway, relevant to the whole confidence thing. I see it like this. All right. I mean, for one, the more you win, the more confident you become. Right. Because last Saturday, yes, it felt great. It felt great taking Northwestern to the woodshed. But in a sense, that Nebraska didn't do anything that they haven't done yet under the Scott Frost era, and that because the only thing that we've really proven in the Scott Frost era is that we can win a game from time to time.
Yeah.
And on occasion, we can get a winning streak going. But again, that's what it comes down to. And I know I've said this before, but I think the real sure telltale sign that this program is turning the corner, or that at least we can have a serious conversation about them turning the corner, is when they stop losing back-to-back games. And also, I would say also the first 3-game winning streak. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I also think, I'm not quite as bullish as Chris and Jake just yet, but I do, however, agree that if Nebraska is going to take that step forward, this is a program this is a game that you got to win, but think about this though, Sip, Jake. Let's say that 3-game winning streak happens now. Okay, we've already won last week. You win this week, and you win at Minnesota, and then you have a bye week. You know what that means? That means you've gone an entire month without losing a game.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's
that'd be pretty
that's
good.
something. That's where we like to use the phrase "run downhill." That's where you can run downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And because again, not losing back, winning 3 straight would be great, but also not losing back to back, that gets you bowl eligibility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you.
All right,
I hear you.
The call, Vince.
I wanted to hear him say it one more time. If we can't get along, we might as well.
Vince
get
is
it
gone. Lorenzo Neal. How about that name? A former fullback for the Bengals and Chargers. I love it.
He said he's famous for saying that.
Yeah, I didn't know. Is Lorenzo Neal famous at all? I mean, here. How about this before we get to break from JJ and Lincoln? And by the way, someone says, "Sip, please take some happy pills at the break." I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine all the time. I don't need a psychologist. JJ says that. Are you sure? Maybe I should address that one. JJ says
you shouldn't. What?
Sip, can you clarify why the team's confidence isn't related to your claim last week that they could go on a heater? Aren't they related?
Kind of, I guess. I mean, momentum's real. I guess what I'm separating is momentum and confidence.
How are they different?
Well, I think that Nebraska should be confident pretty much no matter what happens, except if they get taken to the woodshed. They should stay confident. There's no reason their confidence should wane.
Right. If they get blowed out, then it changes.
It changes. Okay. And if they blow out Michigan, I don't even know. Boy. I don't know what the psychologist will tell you about the team's frame of mind. It would scare me a little bit going into Minnesota, but whatever. I mean, I just separate confidence and momentum and the way a fan feels from the way a team feels.
I want to say before we get to break for Chris also, Chris said he'd be disappointed if we don't beat Michigan. I'm not going to say that. I can't sit here and tell you I'll be disappointed if Nebraska does not beat a top 10 team.
It gets into a very interesting conversation, you and Chris's disparity. It's an interesting conversation because it's about when is the program ready to take a step forward.
Sure.
If it doesn't take a step forward against Michigan, does that mean it's not moving forward? What if it takes a step forward and what if it beats Ohio State?
That's a step forward.
Right. So it's
just delaying your step forward. Right. You're saying you're just people want it now.
If they don't take the step forward against Michigan, does that mean the program's not progressing? I think that's erroneous thinking unless they get taken to the woodshed. Right. But if they play a close game and don't get it done, does that mean the program's not progressing? I would say that's erroneous thinking.
I agree.
Yeah.
If they lose a close game, it's disappointing, but not oh my gosh, I can't believe they lost the football game. It's very believable they can lose this game.
Yeah, this program's making no progress.
No, I would.
I wouldn't say that.
I get what you were saying, Chris, but I disagree on that one. Sean Callahan up next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Hi, folks. Greg Sharp here, the voice of Husker football. If your home heating system is making strange noises or just doesn't work like it should, call your friends at Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Sign up for Bryant's exclusive ESP service protection plan. You'll get twice annual complete and thorough service on all brands, and you'll never pay overtime charges on evenings, weekends, or holidays. Schedule your heating check today and ask about Bryant's ESP plan to save money. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
State Farm, this is Bill.
It finally got me, Bill.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street Crater, the mother of all potholes.
Oh.
Year after rim-wrecking year, it's tormented the people of this town. It got me good.
But you know, State Farm's got you too.
You hear that? You ain't nothing.
You trash talking a pothole?
Yes, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Nguyen Vape is celebrating their grand opening with 20% off products all month long. They have the largest disposable vape selection in town and also carry Delta 8 and Delta 10 and various other moon rocks. If you're looking for help to relax, sleep, or ease pain, they have a variety of gummies you can choose from and Kratom that could help with pain relief, anxiety, and stress. You can't miss them right on the southwest corner of 27th and O Street. Nguyen Vape, your headquarters in Lincoln for vapes and Delta 8 or 10.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Areas of fog possible this morning, then partly cloudy and a touch cooler. Will top out at around 73. Winds out of the southeast at around 10. A few passing clouds lingering across the area tonight with a low of 56. We'll start to warm back up a bit tomorrow with a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Work out your stress and get back to feeling great at Planet Fitness. It's a great time to do your own thing. Now through October 13th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get back to a routine that's right for you with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Plus, check out the crowd meter in our free PF app for the best time to visit. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends October 13th. See club for details.
This
good morning, little brother.
is Early Break with Zip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are closing in on Nebraska, Michigan, 3 days away from now, 6:30 p.m. kick in Lincoln on ABC. Looking forward to that game. Should be, hopefully, we expect a close game. We're joined now by Husker Alliance Sean Callahan. Sean, before we get to Michigan, I want to go back to Northwestern for a second. 56-7 Nebraska wins. Was Nebraska that good in that game, or was Northwestern that bad when you've looked back and thought about it?
Well, I think you got to start with the way Nebraska came out of the gate. I mean, they came right at him and punched him right in the face. So you got to give Scott Frost credit.
Absolutely.
He didn't come in and try to, tiptoe around. He went right at Northwestern, and you just look at the metrics and the numbers. That's the worst loss Pat Fitzgerald's ever taken. It's the most yards he's given up. It was the most points Nebraska had scored in a Power 5 game since the 2007 Kansas State game when they put up 70. So, just when you look at the whole metrics of the win, there were a lot of numbers in that game that hadn't happened for Nebraska or against Northwestern in a long time.
That's interesting, Sean. Sean, have you looked into this Aiden Hutchinson picture? Aiden Hutchinson is their Michigan's defensive end, 6'6", 265 senior, 6 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, best defensive player Nebraska will have faced this year, according to Matt Lubick. What do you see from Aiden Hutchinson? Is there anybody he reminds you of?
Yeah, it's hard to say who he reminds you of. He just reminds you of kind of a classic edge player that's seen the Big Ten, from the elite teams. But he's the highest ranked draft prospect in the conference right now. When you look at, Chris Olave is up there from Ohio State, and Garrett Wilson, and there's some other really good first round type talents in this league. But he's a consensus top 10 projected pick right now on the board. Graded even higher than Nick Bonito from Oklahoma, as we know, was a very good player. And you noticed that when you watched Nebraska play Oklahoma a few weeks ago. But they have 2 defensemen. They got another guy, and between the 2 of them, I believe they're responsible for 9 of the 13 sacks. And they'll get after you. And he's a high motor rev guy that is schooled up well. His grade on Pro Football Focus is a 92. Which is a really, wow. I think that might be as high of a grade as any defensive player in the country. He's the real deal, and it will be a test, especially for our true freshman in Teddy Prohaska, who could be going up against him, depending on how they move him around.
Well, yeah, the other player you're talking about is David Ojabo, and he's 6'5", 250, and he has 3.5 sacks. So their edge is going to be an issue. Are you expecting Jaquez Yant to be part of the offense again this week, a big part of the offense?
Yeah, they got to get Jaquez going again this week. He's a Big Ten running back.
Are you sure about that?
It complements Ramir Johnson too. When you just look at what Ramir does, having Jaquez come in, it's a really nice 1-2 punch. And I think they have been really struggling to find the right complement, and I think they have it. And 64-yard run on his first carry. Yeah, he has the longest run by far of the year for a running back. 21 yards was the previous long. That caught everybody by surprise. And you can just feel the stadium now this week, what it's going to be like when Jaquez starts making some punishing runs. The crowd's going to really feed off it. That's what Nebraska fans at Memorial Stadium want to see. They just want to see a guy like that just punish people. And he's going to quickly become a crowd favorite, is my prediction.
Joined by Sean Callahan. Sean, Adrian had all day to throw on Saturday, which was the first time this season that's happened, because you saw Teddy Prohaska do a great job at left tackle, Nordy Noeli at left guard, and Corcoran at right tackle. How surprised were you by the effectiveness of that unit right away after what had been a tough year so far for the line in those changes?
Well, it starts first with the running game. When you run it like that, it's a heck of a lot easier to throw. Adrian only actually dropped back 17 times, and he had 0 scrambles in that game where he had to take off and run. It's funny, the worst protection was probably the first play of the game.
Yep, it was.
Northwestern came in. I don't know if they brought a blitz or what the call was, but he got heated up pretty good on that first throw and got it off to Torrey. And that's probably why it was maybe underthrown a little bit, because there was a little bit of pressure coming his way, and he got to throw down the field to Torrey. But, I think when they could run it like that, guys, a lot of things change. And I going back to those 2 defensive ends, Hutchinson, and going at those guys, that's when Nebraska's got to run it this week. They got to run the option. That's how you get upfield pass rushers off balance. How much option has Aiden Hutchinson faced before? How much has he seen like that? And I think you've got to use that as an advantage, because I guarantee you he hasn't seen at the level that he could see it from Martinez on Saturday night.
Oh, I totally agree. And that was kind of my next question. Do you think that's why Nebraska unveiled it? Do you think that's why they're doing it this year with games like this in mind and games going forward?
I mean, I think they're just doing it because they got to figure out how to run the football. And
right.
I mean, how many times could they keep trying the inside zone handoff and
get nothing?
And get nothing. And so they had to come up with some new wrinkles to move the defense a little bit and help the O-line and get things moving to the perimeter. And they figured it out. And, you know, if you don't, as a defender, play with proper read and discipline, you can give up some big plays there. So, yeah, I'd imagine for Michigan just preparing for these things in practice, it wouldn't be fun because Nebraska throws a lot at you.
Sean, the way both these defenses are playing, will you be surprised, even though it's a top 10 team coming, will you be surprised if this is not a close game in the fourth quarter on Saturday?
Yeah, it's going to be a close game. I mean, you can't even really, if Nebraska wins, you can't even really call it a major upset or anything. It's a 3-point spread. You know, it's not like Nebraska's a huge double-digit home dog here. I mean, this is as good of a chance as Nebraska's had to beat a top 10 team in a number of years. There just haven't been, you know, they beat Michigan State a couple in Mike Riley's first year.
That's different. That's different.
And that was kind of a different deal. Yeah. I mean, this one, you know, this one feels different. I mean, Nebraska's got a legit chance at home on this stage to win against a top 10 team.
So it leads to a natural question. How much does your expectation for this season change if Nebraska does manage to beat Michigan? Does it change much? Does it change at all?
I mean, if they win this game, I think they can maybe get, I mean, I think they're for sure in a bowl game. I think it gets that box checked off, and I think they could, you know, play with just about anybody. I think Ohio State still has a significant level of talent over Nebraska in this game when they play down the road. But we know they can play with Wisconsin right now. We know they can play with the rest of the teams. Now, Iowa's intriguing. That's the last game of the year, and we'll kind of see where things are at. But, yeah, I think getting to a bowl game becomes, you know, I don't want to say a done deal, but pretty good chances that could happen here if they can get this win Saturday.
Thomas Fidone is practicing a little bit for Nebraska. Sean, do you expect to see him on the field at some point by the end of this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's been the plan. They want to get him 4 games, take advantage of the 4-game rule. Like Scott Frost said this week, there's 3 2-game seasons. Maybe you get him prepared to play those final 2 2-game seasons. Practice this week, practice next week, bye week, then bring him back after the bye, and maybe he could get in. And it's hard to say. I mean, you know, because they got 2 really good tight ends. I mean, you're not going to take reps away from Austin Allen and Travis Volkwek. And by the way, Chancellor Brewington playing at a pretty high level too. So I think we're getting a little too recruiting ahead of ourselves here. Like, oh, he's a good player, but man, the other tight ends are playing at a really high level. So if they can get him in a few games, that would be a bonus.
Sean, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
All right, guys. Thanks.
It's Husker Online. Sean Callahan.
Yeah, it was good. Interesting. This Michigan conversation is interesting. The whole timing element of it. If they don't get it done now, they won't get it done. I do not agree with that at all. I get it. It's a big game. And I think I agree with Chris. It'd be good to get it done now. But if you don't get it done now, you're going to have other chances. I don't know why I'm going down this road. I just don't. I just think it's going to be a close game. And I don't think the season goes in the toilet if they lose a close game.
If they lose a blowout, though.
That's trouble.
It's troubling.
Yeah.
Can we disagree? It's a little odd, or it's good for Nebraska that this feels like at this point a pick'em game against a top 10 team.
That's progress.
How about
right
that?
There.
I mean, how it feels strange to say this.
Right.
This feels like a pick'em toss-up game.
That's already
against
progress.
A top 10 5-0 team.
That's already progress. Now it's not progress if they get blown out. I just don't see it. I don't see how it could happen. Nebraska's progressed to a point now where, especially on defense, where I just don't expect Michigan to score 44 points.
Yeah.
If they score 34, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, this defense has stepped up big time this year. I would be surprised if this is a high scoring game for
the option game. To me, the triple option, down the line triple option is a game changer for me too. That changes the way I look at the season because they found something there and it works. They got a quarterback that can run it. They're taking advantage of that. That is a neutralizer for these defenses that have players like Aiden Hutchinson that haven't seen it. Now Michigan has to prepare for it a lot. They have to go out of their standard preparation to prepare for that element, which is they don't have to do that week to week.
No, I remember distinctly, Sip, that first year for Scott Frost when he went to Michigan, how we were just so impressed by Michigan's speed defensively. Remember that? Where the rest was trying to get outside and Devin Bush had said, nope, not so fast.
Way better, yeah.
Way better defense back then. Yeah. The defense is still good, but let's say if Nebraska cannot be taken apart like that.
Oh, I don't know if Michigan's defense was way better then than it is now. I don't know about that. Michigan was 10-3 that year. They got Ohio State put 69 on them. All right. I mean, I don't think that Michigan defense was a lot better than the one they're facing. That team was 10-3, got beat 40-15 by Florida in the bowl game. Michigan, Ohio State put 69 on them.
Yeah, they lost their will, I think, in that Ohio State game.
Right.
When it came to the Florida game.
Right. So I'm not ready to say that. Michigan's schedule going forward is really difficult, by the way. At Penn State, at Michigan State, they go to Maryland. We'll see on that. They do get Ohio State in the big house. So,
song of the day is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
This is Bill.
It finally got me, Bill.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes.
Oh.
Year after rim-wrecking year, it's tormented the people of this town. It got me good.
But State Farm's got you too.
You hear that? You ain't nothing.
You trash talking a pothole?
Yes, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to theticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln.
Hi, Andy Neal of Cartridge World. We are not a big box store that sells everything and specializes in nothing. Cartridge World is your local expert when it comes to streamlining office printing and scanning. No big box can match our proven no-cost lease program. We customize solutions that supply you with multifunction printers and all the required service just for buying Cartridge World ink and toner at a 30% savings. Call for a no-cost consultation, 464-3455, or go online to cartridgeworld.com.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted Best Small Bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses. And you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure, you were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Nguyen Vape is celebrating their grand opening with 20% off products all month long. They have the largest disposable vape selection in town and also carry Delta 8 and Delta 10 and various other moon rocks. If you're looking for help to relax, sleep, or ease pain, they have a variety of gummies you can choose from and Kratom that could help with pain relief, anxiety, and stress. You can't miss them right on the southwest corner of 27th and O Street. Nguyen Vape, your headquarters in Lincoln for vapes and Delta 8 or 10.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you seen her? So bad and pretty, moving with a style and ease. And I feel her from across the room. Yes, it's love in the third degree. Ooh, baby, baby, won't you turn your head my way? Ooh, baby, baby, take a dance. You're old enough to dance. Oh, dance the night away. Alive wire.
Song of the day, Dance the Night Away by Van Halen, 464-5685. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day. Once again, your Song of the Day, Dance the Night Away by Van Halen. From 1979, 464-5685. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
Well, I have a friend named John who's listening and texted in
Oh,
10, maybe
wow.
11.
So John, shout out to John.
Yeah, he's a Kansas City native. Maybe not native, but he lived in Kansas City. Anyway, I picture him as a kid in Kansas City jamming to that. That's high level. Yeah, that's super high level. And you sort of surprised me with that.
I've never played that one before.
Yeah, you don't play Van Halen.
No, I've played some, but
You
I've
don't
not
play
played
very
that
often.
one.
Yeah, you don't come with Van Halen very often. You don't talk about Van Halen. Ain't Talking About Love's probably their number one song in my mind.
I don't know about that.
Yes, the guitar.
That's
in
their
that song.
best one to you?
Ain't Talking About Love, yeah. That's probably their best one. Yeah.
It's good.
Hello?
It's not their best.
Hello?
Panama.
No. Are you out of your mind?
I mean, that's up there too. Dance the Night Away is very good.
Yeah, Dance the Night Away is really good.
Let
really.
me guess, you probably hate Jump then too.
Oh, can't stand Jump.
I figured.
Yeah, that's when Van Halen was going down the toilet.
About Right Now.
Toilet.
It's a great song.
Toilet.
Right Now?
Going
seriously?
Yeah. That was not really even Van Halen.
I know, but I still like it though.
No. That was Van Halen, what you played.
And that's a great song.
Yeah, 9.5. 9.5.
When that song was in its first 2 seconds, you said, "Oh, 10." Easy.
Well, yeah, I got to be careful. And then I went 9. Then I went 9.5. So it's 9.5. 9.5.
Okay, now we have to guess the unpredictable Harrison over there, who gave Barry White a 1. That is almost impossible. That song he gave a 1. You can't get enough of Your Love, Baby.
This is so generational.
I still am stunned by that. No, he's had some very questionable ratings. That might have been the most egregious.
That might have been your low point, Harrison.
That was terrible.
You're doing fine here, but
Barry White.
As far as come on. He smiled when this song came on. Now it might have been a mocking smile, or it might have been he played a good song smile. I don't know. What do you think?
I can't read him anymore. I thought I had a good read at him for a while, but I don't have it anymore. I'm gonna guess he can't hate that, but not love it. So probably around a 5. I'm gonna lead 4.9.
Yeah, I think it's more his personality. This is more suited to his personality, and it's a 7.
Got better. No, it didn't. Harrison. Barry White was better.
The other thing we've learned about Harrison, he's very understated today.
Simple.
Yeah.
The simple.
Yeah, he's. I don't know, Harrison, if you could have a talk show or not, because you don't talk that much.
Need more opinion.
You got to talk. You got to babble a lot and say things that are outlandish in order to have a show. Right.
Well, that's what
like
I do every
Jake.
day. I live in the land of outlandish. That's where I reside. I'm rarely on the ground. I'm outlandish all the time.
You're flying.
Well, guess what? I'm flying all right. My computer is frozen again.
Is it?
So let's see what we got. Oh, I got okay. Heather 7. Brian T says 9.2. Jennifer 8.9. High School Memories. She says.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Mike a classic 9. John in Fremont a 8.5. Loves Van Halen.
Okay, John in Fremont.
Michael in Columbia, South Carolina says a 6. Not great, not bad. 8 from David and GI. 7.5 from David. Another David. Eric. Oh yeah, Eric hates giving me high scores. He says, "Oh, screw you, Jake. Van Halen can get no lower than an 8. 8.7. Bleep you." That's right, Eric. That's right. John in Des Moines, got to guess.
Loved it. 8. Loved it.
He says simply the best. 9.5. By the way, he says
think about what just happened.
He says R.I.P. Was it today, a year ago, that Eddie Van Halen passed?
Probably.
That was not intentional, by the way, for Song of the Day. If that was a year ago today, then that was coincidental.
Well, then that's amazing. That's the big man upstairs at work.
Yep.
Hey, John, that's fairly big news. I've never heard John seen John give a song a 9.5.
9.5 is the highest I think I've ever seen from John. He lives probably in the 3s usually for most of my songs. 3 or 4. Chaz says a timeless classic 9.6. Don in Texas.
Hello, Texas.
A 10. Jim in Lincoln says, Jake, you hit the nail on the head with this one. 10. 10 from Greg in Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
He says, that song is unimprovable. That's the best.
Well, that's amazing.
Wow. You can't get better than that one,
Yeah,
apparently.
you might as well shut down the show.
Yeah, well, I guess no more song of the day. That's what we'll go on and out. We'll end on that one.
All right.
8.6 from Rob in Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Yep. Okay, we got a couple minutes for the mailbag.
Whoa,
wow.
I like that.
Okay, didn't
You
like
should
that.
do that all the
I
time. That's kind of
hang
cool.
on. I got this going on. I know
I like that. Mailbag.
Nope. All right.
Mailbag.
There we go. Okay. I got this. How about this from Brian? Yeah. Okay. He says, my dog takes terrible pursuit angles on squirrels in the backyard.
Yes.
I don't want her to catch them because then I have to deal with an injured or dead squirrel, but I find her lack of fundamentals disturbing. Any advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could work with her. I mean, I wouldn't admonish her. Don't get into her feels. But I'd just say work with her. I think you could go out there when you see a squirrel and you see her take pursuit. I mean, you can alter her course. I mean, as a human being, you can alter her course. And I think she can
help the pursuit yourself.
Yeah. I think you get.
You think dogs can improve their pursuit
Yeah,
angles?
where you stand and say, okay, that way. I mean,
you got to spend time with that dog.
Well, you got to wait for the squirrel to materialize, and then your dog to see it, and then you have to flip into action too. Now it'll take some work. I wouldn't do it. I mean, because I'm like him. I don't want my dog to kill a squirrel. I just don't want to deal with all that. And Bullet doesn't do a lot of that anyway, but we used to have a dog that would do it. And then, you got a dead squirrel and a slimy mouth on your dog. And I don't know. I don't want him to deal with it.
I don't have any advice for Brian on that. I don't have a dog, so I have nothing for you. Jack says, are the refs across the board just bad, or is there a Big Ten conspiracy against Nebraska? I don't know if I've seen a lot of terrible calls this year.
The only game that stood out was the Buffalo game.
They say the backwards pitch against
Yeah,
Buffalo.
Yeah, that pitch thing. Officials just don't see that, so they can't. I mean, they review pitches that you could see are clearly behind the line. So that's weird.
Jack believes there is a Michigan State holding up the middle on the flea flicker that they had for a touchdown.
Okay.
I didn't see that. He said there's one-sided personal foul calls against Oklahoma. Cam Jurgens had a couple of those where he was just playing football.
Yeah.
The backwards pitch against Buffalo. He says, don't get me started with the Illinois game either, the penalty.
Yeah, I don't want to be paranoid. I don't think you want to get paranoid. That's no fun. It's no way to live. Sometimes I wonder a little bit about it, but not enough to look into it.
Last one from Bill. We're out of time. He says, can I convince you that Coke Zero is better than Coca-Cola?
No.
Don't even try. Get out of here.
Why would you?
Why would you try that? Don't mess with the leaded Coke.
Yeah. That's
Coke leaded.
That's the classic.
Yeah. Coke Zero. I mean, it's okay. It's better for you without the calories, but come on. If I'm drinking pop, might as well have the calories, right? I want the taste of it. So, there we go. Thank you, Bill. No, you cannot convince me that Coke Zero is better than Coca-Cola.
Nor could you convince me.
Don't try, and don't lie to yourself. You know that regular Coke is better.
You're speaking for him now.
I am. Top of the hour next on Early Break in the Ticket. Last thing before break, guys, it's getting darker and colder outside every day. That means your time playing golf, tennis, whatever you do outside is getting limited, but you can always find things to do inside, including craft axe throwing in Lincoln. They're open 7 days a week from 4 to 9 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, from noon to 11 on Friday, Saturday, and from noon to 9 on Sunday. Parties and events are welcome anytime. For more information, call them at 402-802-9696 or go to craftaxethrowing.com. That's Craft Axe Throwing, 18th and N in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to theticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
With today's Husker Radio Report, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. It's got a big game feel right now in Lincoln as the Huskers get ready for their 6:30 game against Michigan on Saturday night. Defensive coordinator Eric Shenander said his guys are excited for this opportunity.
I think our guys were fired up last week. I think they're going to be even more juiced up last week. The crowd was awesome. The light show was pretty awesome. We talked about it the other day. You got a 6:30 kick in Memorial Stadium on national television against a ranked team. If you ain't up for this one, you don't belong in our room. So it's I think those guys are going to be jacked. They're going to be ready to roll, and it's going to be an awesome environment.
Meanwhile, linebackers coach Barrett Ruud said when he thinks of college football, these are the moments that come to his mind.
This is college football at its finest, I think. I mean, it's classic, two classic football teams, big stage on Saturday night. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere. I couldn't be more excited.
In other news, freshman tight end Thomas Fedoni returned to the practice field this week. Reporting with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SEC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Areas of fog possible this morning, then partly cloudy and a touch cooler. Will top out at around 73. Winds out of the southeast at around 10. A few passing clouds lingering across the area tonight with a low of 56. We'll start to warm back up a bit tomorrow with a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Wednesday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, an Early Break. Fun show so far. Check out the podcast at theticketfm.com. Always good stuff from Husker Online. Sean Callahan. Thanks for the mailbag questions as well. You can always call or text the show at 402-464-5685 or watch us on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers video stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. This show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. Any highlights from the first hour for you?
Oh, I thought our emo discussion was good.
I think you're referring to me as emo then.
No.
In that context, it felt like I was the emo
Not
person.
really. I mean, I get where you're coming from. It's an interesting psychological discussion right now with Nebraska football. It tends to be like a difficult algebra equation to me.
Yeah.
Like, it does. Like I don't know. I see progress in the program. I think I'll see progress in the program whether Nebraska beats Michigan or not. Now, if they lose big, then okay, here's what we would like. You know what we'd like? A new conversation. That's what I'd like. That's what a win would mean to me. The conversation's new because Nebraska hasn't beaten a ranked team as a good Nebraska team for a long time.
Right.
I mean, 2000, the win against Michigan State, does that really count that much? It was just a kind of a fluky win.
Nebraska was, 3-6 at that point?
Yeah. This would be a lot different.
You believe you're good.
Yeah, and it would change This would alter the conversation. It would change it. It would be a new conversation. If they lose the game, same old conversation. What are we talking about? They can't get over the hump. Then the naysayers would come back out. Right now they're a little silent. Then the naysayers would come out and say, "See, it's never going to get done here." And then we'll just go forward with that. A win would change the conversation for the better, right? It'd be it'd be a fresh conversation.
Well, you'd finally have for Frost also a signature win. You could say Michigan State was 9-6 was kind of signature, but not really.
Phrase it however you want. It's a signature win. It's a new conversation.
Yep.
It would be much better. Even a close loss, you're going to get the naysayers out again, and then, it's the back and forth. Well, there's progress. They played the number 9 team in the country close. Yeah, but they can't get over the hump. Can't get over the hump. So, and it also depends on what the game looks like. Like if they have special teams errors, you'll get that conversation. It would just be nice to have a different conversation, right?
Positive one.
Yeah, positive, but just new. I mean,
progressive.
Nebraska. We've established that Nebraska is a good team, and it's not a fluke if they win. But you want to see them close the deal. This isn't going to be fluky if Nebraska wins.
I don't think so. No,
you're expecting.
You're not a 14-point dog. You're a 3-point dog in your home field.
Yeah, I hate.
It's seen as pretty much a pickup game.
I just about said I hate the psychology discussions, but that's what talk radio sort of.
That's
a huge part of it. Yeah. So, I mean, Kaz is weighing in on that, and I know where Kaz stands. He's a very bottom line. He's a very bottom line guy. That he says if whether you win by 4, lose by 40, it shouldn't change your outlook as a player. And that's kind of the school I come from. It's a win or a loss. It's one game, he says. Doesn't matter if you win by 1 or 40. It's a win or loss. That's to where I come from. I get it. I know nobody agrees with that, but I think that if you're a player, you have to be that way. Now, if you're a talk show host and a fan, you don't have to be that way. You can let the emotions dictate your whole life, but I don't think you can do that if you're a player or a coach. I just don't think you can live in that world. It's not the same world. It's not the same world. They got to live in a different world. That's all I'm saying, Jake. Offensive discussion is really interesting. So get to it.
We have been desperate for an offensive identity in the Scott Frost era because Nebraska's offense has been lacking. They have been going down each year in points per game. So my question, you just saw them put up 650 plus yards against Northwestern, the most ever against a Pat Fitzgerald team in his time at Northwestern. 56 points, his biggest loss, as Sean pointed out earlier. This was a route that had not happened at that school at that proportion. So we've been asking for an offensive identity for the entire Scott Frost era. Do they finally have that? 4-6-4-5-6-8-5.
I don't know. I always hearken to this time when Nebraska was struggling on offense, and I was laying in bed, and the Monday press conference was coming up, and I was like, okay, I'm going to ask Bo what his offensive identity is, And I think coaches must really kind of get a kick out of that whole discussion.
Multiple.
What's your identity? Yeah. What's your identity? So I got him off to the side by himself, and I asked the big question, hey, Bo, how would you describe your offensive identity? And yeah, he's just like, I don't know, multiple. I mean, I just don't think I don't think you have to have a word to describe it. Okay, now here's the question I have for you. If you were talking to Lee Sterling and Lee said, Jake, what do they do on offense? How would you describe it?
Well, they're kind of multiple.
Right.
The point is this, though. Nebraska has been they had been going down in points per game, and it was desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've added this option attack. It's not all the time, but it's certainly a part of the offense. And it's been hard for teams to stop. Adrian can run the ball effectively, and he pitches it, and guys get yards.
Yeah, I don't think there's a word. I mean, except for multiple. I mean, they run. I would say if someone asked me, I'd say it's just there's a lot of variety. They run it downhill. They have a quarterback they can run, so they're running option. They try play action like everybody in the world. I mean, that I don't know, spread option. I don't know if you'd call it. I don't know that you'd call it a fast-paced spread option anymore because they run it at a pretty. They can rev it up, but they don't always, right? I just think it's overcooked. I don't think you have to have a word for it.
This is a good question, as Ben says. Is it safe to say the offense goes as the line goes? Yeah, I mean Nebraska's offense.
Offense.
They did a lot of things on Saturday because they had time to do them. There's holes opened up. Adrian had time to think back in the pocket.
Doesn't any offense go as the line goes? Yes. The answer to that is yes. I know I'm being difficult today, but yeah, it goes as the line goes because that's what all offenses go as the line goes.
Adrian has overcome bad line play to make plays by himself, though.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to live, though.
71-yard run against Buffalo when he should have been sacked 6 times in the play.
Right. You're not going to win. You're not going to beat many good teams doing that. So let's get to
We got some calls. We got 2 of them. Let's get to JR first. JR, you're on early break. Go ahead. Uh-oh.
JR.
Are you there,
Hello. JR's off the line. How about Mac?
All right.
Mac, are you there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mac.
Oh, hey, fellas. How you doing this morning?
Good. And you?
Not too shabby.
Good.
I was thinking about your question when you said, has Nebraska found its offensive identity this year? And I do think potentially they have this year. And I kind of like what they're doing with that. Actually, I really like what they're doing with the option. I think that adds a whole new wrinkle for defenses to have to break down and study. Plus, Adrian has always been an elite runner. But my concern, I guess not my concern because, I want to win this year. But is that repeatable next year?
Yeah, that's a good question.
If say Adrian moves on, can we be that option team again? Or are we going to have to start from square one again? And that kind of concerns me a little bit.
Okay, Mac. Now I'm going to alleviate your concerns. I'm here to alleviate concerns. I think that Smothers can run the option. Now, we don't know for sure how he handles the pitch and all that, but I mean, he's a running quarterback. I would think he could learn the option. I mean, some of the options just about being a good football player, right? I mean, it's just a feel for the game and it's feel. And that's just if you're a good football player, you have that. Adrian's a great football player. He has a feel for the option. He had to work on it. It takes a lot of work, but that's Mac. And I would say, Mac, if you have Smothers back there, look at him run the ball.
Yeah, I think he can run the option just fine.
Yeah. It's just, the question is if he has a feel for that pitch.
Yep. The pitch. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
that pitch could cause a lot of problems. If you don't have it, you can lose. It's a fumble. It goes out of bounds for a negative 7 yards.
But I have faith that Logan Smothers, as an athlete, could learn how to be a good run option plays. It's just a question. I like it too. I love it. But there's some interesting questions attached to it. How much of an option team do you want to become? I mean, I think they ran 8 plays of option the other night. I think that's about right. And now you got to work on it a lot. And as a head coach, you have to determine how much are we going to work on it, because it's a big chunk out of your day.
Take it back real quick to the Michigan State game when Smothers had that one series. He ran a couple times. I forget though, were those option plays or not? Did he have a guy he could pitch to or not?
The Michigan
State game when he came in when Adrian went out with the mouth injury for the drive and he came in.
I can't remember what the plays were.
He had 2 runs to the outside.
Yeah.
I forget if they were just design runs or if there was somebody he could have pitched to.
I wouldn't be surprised if he runs the option.
I'm sure he's able to. I'm sure he's able to.
Right. So no, I'm not too concerned about that. That whole conversation about Adrian next year is an interesting one, but I think and now like Heinrich Harburg, what would that look like if he's trying to run it? I don't know. He's an athletic kid. I wouldn't be surprised if he could do it. But is that now Richard Torres, the quarterback from San Antonio that they've recruited? Not an option guy. Yeah. No, he's not. There's no way that's an option quarterback. He's like 6'6", right? So no, he's not a running quarterback. So that's a very interesting question.
If it continues to work this year, if the rest of the season they make option, which I expect to make it a important part of this offense, and it's starting to work against other defenses, you would think you want to make that the idea going forward. But like you said, Torres doesn't run that, and I don't know if Harburg is somebody who can. He's got a big arm.
Harburg's got a big arm, but he's very athletic, so I wouldn't be surprised if he could do it. He's pretty fast too, by the way, Harburg. So Yeah, you just happen to have a quarterback right now that could have run the option in any era here.
Scott says, am I taking crazy pills? Didn't Smothers run the option twice against Northwestern last week in that
I was
fourth quarter?
writing my column when Smothers was in, and not only did I miss the light show, I missed Smothers. Yeah, somehow I
think-
missed the
I'm
light
pretty
show.
sure. Yeah, I think you ran the option a couple times, and I thought it looked, from what I remember from the game.
You were there.
I know, but that
How do
game,
you not remember?
because the game was out of hand. And
Were you out of hand?
no, I was perfectly sober. I was watching the game normally.
I didn't mean that
Oh,
out
that
of
was
out of
fine.
hand, but I guess if you want to go there,
Yeah, but like they didn't like score a bunch of points when he was in. They had
No,
7
no.
points,
right.
and they were driving to score one more touchdown at the very end. They kneeled,
I think you only had 2 carries. Hold on.
but I believe he did pitch the ball though. Is what they're saying.
Actually, he did have 4 carries for 20 yards. So he might have. I was writing my column because we have rough deadlines, and if the game's over, you can launch into it. If the game's over, if it's not over, that hasn't clicked to 0, but it was effectively over. So in the third quarter, I was writing.
Ben asked on the text line 464-5685, gents, why do we all just assume Adrian won't return next year? This offense could really be explosive with Adrian back in all those weapons.
Sure. I mean, I don't close the door on that notion. Now, this becomes a bit of an NIL discussion, right? I mean, how much money would it take to keep him here? Is that part of the equation? I don't know what's going through Adrian's mind. I guarantee you Adrian's not thinking about it. He's only halfway through this season. He's thinking about winning games right now. So no, I don't think anybody closes the door on it, but it's not a discussion really to get into right now. It's not the appropriate time, probably even for us to have it.
When is that time?
After the season.
Well, let's say that scenario here that Adrian plays well against Michigan on the national scene.
Yes.
And it's because of him. He has big, touchdown passes and runs the ball well.
Okay.
They beat Minnesota, they beat Purdue. They're bowl eligible going to November. And here
Well.
comes Ohio State as you enter on a 4-game win streak there.
Mm-hmm.
And either you win or lose, it's a tight game, and he plays well. And he plays well against Wisconsin, Iowa.
Right. Well, now you're talking about draft stock too. I mean, if he's playing that well, I don't know now this is my opinion, but at the beginning of the season, I don't think he was a draftable quarterback. Now that conversation's changing a little bit right now, and it could further change, and it's not. And look at the quarterback draft class. There's just not that much there. All right. So the draft is a big part of this discussion, right? Now, and I don't know what the projections will be, but how can you
See if there's any updated ones
you
here.
can't really have a serious discussion about it until you know what his draft status looks like, or until you have a really good handle on it. And right now, I don't know that I don't have a good handle on it. It's an accuracy discussion, Jake. It's not a option discussion. This is a passing accuracy discussion. How accurate is he as a passer? That's kind of what it comes down to. This year, his number's good this year. He's a 66.7% passer this year, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 66.7% is a good number, but what are your eyes? I mean, remember the discussion after the Illinois game? My God, how did he overthrow the 6'5" tight end by 6 feet or whatever it was, 4 feet? He overthrew Austin Allen. What game was that? Anyway, he overthrew Austin Allen recently. Is his accuracy where it needs to be a top 5 round draft pick in the NFL?
Well, I'm looking right now at one website that is
go
going
ahead.
through their 2022 NFL quarterback draft prospects. He's not even in the top 20.
Right. I said, and I mean it. Going into this season, I didn't consider him a draftable quarterback.
And this is as of updated as of this week, though.
Right. Well, I think the conversation, but I get that. I think the conversation's changing on that. Okay, now that's a conversation that could change dramatically against Michigan. Todd Blackledge in the house. Sean McDonough. I know I shouldn't say that, but
Sean's,
yeah.
Watch out, Sean. I'm coming for you. I'm going to find you.
Don't say that on the air. He could be listening.
That was a joke,
Todd
Sean.
Blackledge.
Not going to come find you.
I mean, it's a ABC telecast. What if Adrian has a big game and Nebraska wins? That changes the Adrian conversation. Then it becomes more of a national conversation.
I know that's why this game's huge for everybody.
Yeah, I don't think Martinez right now is a national conversation. That's my sense. But he's about 2 big wins away from that being the case.
With him being a vital part.
Right. Well, he's got to be a vital
He
part.
pretty much has to.
Yeah. He's the man. He is the man.
Yep. Yeah. He's not even the top 20 right now.
Well,
what I view as a subpar college quarterback class.
Yeah, it's
Matt Corral is 1, Rattler's 3. Sam Howell is number 2.
This is NFL draft rating.
Yeah,
it's
for
it's different.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. Adrian. He's a dual threat quarterback. Now some of those guys would probably be classified as dual threat. I don't know. Who else is high?
Okay. This
Go
is
ahead.
from Yahoo Sports. They're right now.
Yeah,
their quarterback rankings for the 2022 NFL draft.
Ripped.
Number 1, Matt Corral,
Yeah,
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Number 2, Sam Howell, North Carolina. 3, Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma. 4, Malik Willis at Liberty.
Okay.
5, Carson Strong, Nevada.
Carson Strong's dual threat.
6,
Pure dual
Desmond
threat.
Ridder, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Is he dual threat?
I don't know. I'm not going to say. I've watched the Coastal Carolina.
7, Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh. He's been really good this year, actually. 8, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, UCLA.
Dual threat.
9, Keaton Slovis, USC. I don't think he's dual threat. And 10, Phil Yurkovich at Boston College and Jake Hayner at Fresno State. That's your top 10.
Huh.
Jack Cohn, 11.
I don't know. There's a question. There's
Brock
a question
Purdy's
for
14th.
There's a question for you. Who would you take right now if Adrian and Cohn were standing in front of you and you were starting a team? Who would you? I'd take Adrian. I'd take Adrian over Jack Cohn. I'd take Adrian Martinez over Jack Cohn.
The running ability changes a lot for Adrian.
Yeah, he's not a bad passer. He's shown to be a pretty good passer this year, right?
Yeah, he's had
interesting.
some of his questionable throws, but he's also made some great throws.
So Jack Cohn's ranked 11th. Adrian's not in the rankings.
Not in the top 20.
But I say that. I'm not. It's not really even close. I've seen a lot of Cohn. That's why I asked the question. Some of those guys I just haven't seen a lot of. I saw the Coastal Carolina quarterback. And I will tell you right now, I would take Adrian over that guy too. I watched him play Kansas. Watched him play Lance's team. He's good. He's good. But I'd take Adrian over him. That guy's he's a dual threat guy that had a super high completion percentage. But come on, the competition's not the same.
Good call from Don. Don, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, Don in Texas. I got a quick question for you. I was just wondering what you guys thought. If there is a better, at this point, 3-loss team in the nation, what is it? A couple games with just touchdown losses, the losses that they've had. Do you see another team that has 3 losses that's better than Nebraska? Or, we are very, very close. Obviously, you eliminate the mistakes, simply could be 5-1, like you all have mentioned in the past. But just wondering what your thoughts were on perhaps us being one of the best 3-loss teams in the nation and where we can go from there with a win over Michigan.
Thanks for the call, Don. I don't know all the resumes of the other 3-loss teams, who they have. I don't have it pulled up who has 3 losses in the nation. But I just saw last night that there's a guy for 24/7 Sports who does like his, not rankings, but his power ratings of top 25. He has Nebraska. That's the 22nd best team in the country.
Yeah, that would suggest that they're the best 3-loss team in the
Probably
country.
so.
I don't think you could find a 3-loss team that you would say is a pick 'em against the number 9 team in the country. So intuitively, you would. Come on. It's a very interesting discussion. I'm sure there's some Michigan fans as we go into the week, as we progress into the week, they're looking at it like 3-3 Nebraska, and then they're looking into them more, and they're maybe even watching them a little bit and saying, "How's that team 3-3?" They're good.
Yep.
But then if you look at it and you study it and see what happened.
Oh, special teams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, and those guys flying around the tackles to the quarterback. So, yeah, we know what the deal is.
Parker Gabriel up next on early break on the ticket.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Areas of fog possible this morning, then partly cloudy and a touch cooler. Will top out at around 73. Winds out of the southeast at around 10. A few passing clouds lingering across the area tonight with a low of 56. We'll start to warm back up a bit tomorrow with a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Why pay for average lawn care when you can get better elsewhere? Blades Lawn Care is the place to go for excellent service for homeowners associations and commercial or residential lawn work. As we enter the fall with aerating and lawn care ahead of winter, also prepare for 2022 maintenance for your lawn. Call Rich today at 402-730-6320 to learn more or to schedule services for the fall or to look ahead to 2022. Blades Lawn Care, trusted service for over 10 years.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truck driver. SCC, your path to possible.
Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
We're on the air. Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is that time of the week when we talk to Parker Gabriel, the Lincoln Journal-Star, but not before we give him his proper introduction on this fine Double Barrel Wednesday.
Double Barrel Wednesday.
It's a Double Barrel Wednesday.
Double Barrel Wednesday had some pop, didn't it? Very good job by Parker on Double Barrel Wednesday.
You guys know what day it is? It's Double Barrel Wednesday.
And we are now joined by your colleague, the Journal Star's Parker Gabriel. Good morning, Parker. Michigan a couple days away from Nebraska after a romp of Northwestern on Saturday. I'm going to ask off the bat, how shocked were you with the result of the blowout that Nebraska had against Northwestern last Saturday, Parker?
Yeah, I think I was surprised. I think everyone was surprised to some degree. I wasn't surprised Nebraska won the game, but if you're talking about 56-7, obviously, I mean, you know, Nebraska had played 4 FBS teams previous to that and hadn't scored more than 28 points in any of those games. So to just come out and double it with 3 guys playing in new spots on the offensive line and Jaquez Yant being featured among the running backs, I mean, that obviously was a little bit surprising.
Parker Gabriel joins us from the Lincoln Journal-Star. Parker, if one of your Michigan friends in the media called you and said, how would you characterize Nebraska's offense, what would you say?
That it has been struggling until last week to score points, but that it's capable of moving the ball.
Okay.
And that, interestingly, it hadn't been real consistent in running the football, even though the numbers looked fine before last week. And then they found something and ran the ball really well against Northwestern. So whether they unlocked something real there or whether Northwestern was just really bad against the run, I would suspect that's probably a little bit of both. But also, you know, that I would say that they're interesting on offense because even though they haven't scored a ton of points until last week, they do a lot of different stuff, and the option element is certainly part of that. And they're not easy to prepare for, even though they entered last week averaging, 21 points a game or something like that.
What about the identity? How would you characterize them in terms of identity?
I think that's still forming a little bit, but I think up until last week, for sure, the identity was, that a team that relies really heavily on its quarterback, who's a dynamic athlete and can hurt you in multiple ways. Now, the interesting thing about that game against Northwestern is I don't think, Nori Noeli talked afterward about Adrian Martinez had a clean jersey at the end of the game, and he takes a lot of pride in that. It wasn't just that. I don't think that Adrian Martinez scrambled one time. Now, he obviously ran in design stuff, option stuff, and all of that, but I don't think he's made so many plays this year, scrambling around on a design pass play and making yards with his legs. And I don't think there was a single instance of that against Northwestern. So that had been a big part of their identity, and just Adrian will make a play had been a big part of their identity up until last week. And then they didn't really need that element. He made plays, obviously, but it was more designed within the structure of the offense against Northwestern.
So by Parker Gabriel. Keep it right there with Adrian, Parker. This is kind of a big question, but as you watch the Big Ten as a whole, is Adrian Martinez right now the best quarterback in the Big Ten Conference?
Yeah, I think he's got a great case for it at this point. Now, I think if you're talking about awards and stuff like that at the end of the season, we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, look, like a guy like C.J. Stroud at Ohio State, if they keep playing offensively the way that they're playing, he's going to put up huge numbers, and Adrian's got 6 passing touchdowns through 6 games. So I'm not sure if he'll win, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, or first team All Big Ten quarterback or whatever, but he's really built a strong case for it. And I doubt if there's a more important offensive player to his team in the Big Ten than Adrian Martinez is to Nebraska. And he's playing at a really high level. I mean, he's accounted for 15 touchdowns. I think he's turned the ball over 4 times so far through 6 games. If he repeats that performance in the second half of the season, I think Nebraska is going to be in pretty good shape. If if you had to win a game today and you had your pick of a Big Ten quarterback, I mean, I think, you might be tempted to pick the young guy at Ohio State, but I think a lot of people probably at this point would take Adrian.
Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is a name to know this week, Parker. He's the defensive end for Michigan, 6'6", 265, 5.5 sacks. What's your assessment of Hutchinson?
Well, I think there's a lot of people that think he might be the best defensive player in the country this year. He's a top 10-ish pick probably in the NFL draft. He's certainly, if you want to use NBA parlance, he's a lottery type guy. And he can just do a lot of different things. I mean, he's got the power and speed combination that you look for in a pass rusher like that. So he's, like you said yesterday, I think Sipple 6'6" and 265. And the way that they've talked about him at Michigan just this week, and as you watch him a little bit, he's not just a, go get the quarterback on second and third and long. He can play the run. They line him up a little bit in different spots, but he's going to be a big test on the edge for Nebraska's young tackles. And young means young. I mean, you're talking about Turner Corcoran started,
they're young.
6 games now at right tackle, and Teddy Prohaska is starting his second game at left tackle. So, it's going to be – that's an interesting picture to watch. Now, the thing about that, though, is you can't take away a guy like that's impact on the game. And he might change how you do things, but they can try different stuff. They're going to chip with running backs and tight ends. They'll max protect a little bit. They'll use some of the run game and some of the option stuff to try to, keep him a little bit in the gate. And then also, Adrian Martinez doesn't fully neutralize those threats, but you got to be pretty careful about just pinning your ears back and rushing Adrian Martinez, because if you get out of your rush lane, he can really hurt you. And that helps a tackle. That helps a young tackle when the guy across from Teddy Prohaska has in the back of his mind, hey, I can use my arsenal to try to beat this guy and get to the quarterback, but I have to do it within my defined rush lane, because if I stray outside of that, this quarterback's gonna make me pay for it.
Parker, Saturday was the breakout game for Jaquez Yant at running back. He had the 64-yard run and played well in general in that football game. He's listed as pretty much number 2 right now behind Rahmir Johnson. How much do you expect to see him against Michigan on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think they have the or listed on all 3 of those guys with Yant, Morrison, and Stepp, and I just think it depends on practice. I saw what everybody else saw with Jaquez Yant. He's talented, he's big and strong. Sipple would give it to him 38 times a game if he could. But I have a hard time just saying on Wednesday categorically, they're going to give him the ball 20 times when that's just not how they've operated so far this year. Now, maybe when they say they've been looking for a guy, maybe what they meant was we've been waiting for Yant. I'd be sort of surprised by that. And just the way that they've said over and over again, hey, depending on who practices best, that's how it's going to shake out. And the number of different backs we've seen sort of take center stage, or at least have a chunk of the stage, I'm not sure if you can just, confidently say, well, yeah, it's going to be Yant for the rest of the year. So I think you'll see some combination of him and Rahmir Johnson. That'd be my guess. But we've been surprised before in that room. So I guess it's still sort of like you just show up Saturday and figure out who the running back's going to be that day.
Parker Gabriel joins us from the Lincoln Journal-Star. You were in the press box for the game on Saturday night against Northwestern. What did I miss with this light show? What did I miss? I was there, but I missed it.
I think you had a typo in your story when the lights went out and it was dark and it was hard to.
What did you think of it? I mean, what kind of impression did it make on you? I know you were busy, but you saw it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it obviously, I don't remember what was the score at that point, 42-7, 49-7. So obviously the game was well in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. Lights out and
Yeah.
thunderstruck and
Yeah.
you got the sound system turned up. It's one of those things where I think there was a lot of factors that went into making that a great first time for it. It was the first time people had been in the building for a night game in a long time. And I said to you, Sipple, I think we were walking on the field before the game. It feels different at night in that building when there's a crowd. And then to have the game go the way it did, and then to have it be sort of the first time for that, we'll see. If it comes back this week, I would think it would, as long as the game is competitive, which you would think it would be. So, yeah, it was pretty cool, and it's just one of those things when the building's charged up like that, a moment like that feels pretty cool. And then obviously for Nebraska fans and for the players, there's probably not only was it a jolt of energy, but it probably felt pretty cathartic too, given the state of the game at that point.
Yes.
So yeah, I would be fully in favor of that returning again this week.
Parker, always great stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
See, now Sipple this week is what's going to happen, because Sipple's going to feel like it's his duty to experience this now.
Yes.
So he is going to be he's going to be doing the Nick Henrich air guitar,
Yeah.
and singing Thunderstruck. And I'm going to have to look at him and be like, Sipple, I'm on deadline. I'm trying to write. Shut up, Sipple.
Yep, as you should. As you should. Thank you, Parker.
That's probably
good
what
stuff.
will
Have
happen.
a good weekend.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Lincoln Jewel Stars Parker Gabriel at Husker Extra PG on Twitter. Always enjoy talking to Parker.
Yeah, that was good. It was excellent.
Before we get to the game show, some breaking NFL news. You probably don't care about this, but some people that listen will.
yeah.
Four-time Pro Bowler, one of the best cornerbacks, CB's cornerbacks in football, Stephon Gilmore, has been released by the New England Patriots.
Huh.
He was on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, until next week. They could not come to terms on a contract agreement, so he is cut and he's free to sign anywhere he wants. I assume he will be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer very, very soon.
Okay.
That's my assumption there.
Maybe he'll go to Jacksonville.
I don't think he will even sniff that. That's number 32 in his options of places he's going. I'll tell you that right now. 464-5685. Call us up right now to play Shut Up Sipple. Your chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. Today, Sip, is a wild card Wednesday. You are 0-2 on the week, and it is very wild cardy today, as it usually is. Bodies of water in the United States. United States bodies of water. What states are these bodies of water in?
Why are you doing this to me?
464-5685. Shut Up Sipple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
You never know what to expect on Wild Card Wednesday today. Sip bodies of water. I assume you don't feel great about this one.
I mean, I don't
You
want-
said, "Why would you do this to me?" Were the words you said.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, let's see how it goes.
Brian, how do you feel about United States bodies of water?
It might be
It might be rough, he says.
Okay. Rough waters.
Yes.
Rough
All right.
waters.
All right, Brian. First question goes to you to start us off. What state is Lake Coeur d'Alene in? Coeur d'Alene. What state, Brian?
Idaho?
Is it Idaho? Sounds like Brian's underwater here today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's correct. Idaho is right.
Yes.
All right, Sip, would you have that
Yes.
correct? You would have had Lake Coeur d'Alene.
Absolutely. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Yes. I think there's a town.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's going to be part of the tiebreaker, actually. All right, Sip, for the tie, your first question. What state is Lake Havasu in?
Oh, Lake Havasu. Well, it's one of two. Out west. It might be in one state and another.
I'll consider that for this.
It's definitely in Nevada, though.
No. That's not one of the two states it would have been in. Do you want that one, Brian, or not?
Yeah, I'm done there. That's Arizona.
Arizona is correct. I would have given you Arizona or California.
Yeah.
It's not Nevada.
Wonderful.
Okay, for the win, Brian, your last question. What state does Puget Sound touch?
Those are real easy.
Washington. Washington is correct, and that was a quick 3-0 win. Brian, thanks for calling. We get your bagels. Thanks for calling in and calling down the road.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, now it came in smooth.
Enjoy your swimming lesson.
Yeah. He came in very smooth there for the thank you. Everything else, I think he was like the Charlie Brown teacher.
That was incredibly bad performance. I mean, I knew all those, and I knew Havasu. I'm just froze up. I'm.
See, again, I would have given you, although the answer is Arizona, I would have given you California.
No, I don't. I know. I messed up on that. I messed up.
Do you want a last chance at something here?
Yeah, that'd be great.
What state is Lake George in?
Lake George, Vermont.
It's close. I mean, you're in the right. It's New York. Lake Champlain would be the New York, Vermont, big lake up there. Okay, well, let's go for 0 for 4 here. We lost the game show.
Okay.
You already mentioned Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
The question was, what is the population of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho?
I'll say 25,000 on the nose.
How about double it?
50.
50,540 people as of 2019.
It's a disappointment. I'm just disappointed in my performance today.
Well, last week you clinched a winning week on Wednesday. You've clinched a losing week this Wednesday.
That was bad today. I knew all those. And I knew Havasu and I didn't get it. When you know it and you don't get it, that's trouble.
What happened?
Just, I don't know. It's already sort of a long week. And
are you not mentally up there right now?
Yeah, I need to lock in a little harder, apparently.
Well, I've been told that Connor Happer is out sick today, so I think I'll be covering a little bit of Happer and Schaefer show with Schaefer for a while. Just got that news today from Mark, so we won't have Connor today.
Oh, wonderful.
So the spillover will just be with Mike Schaefer next segment. How about that?
Yeah,
and he will join us next to close things out on Early Break on the Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted Best Small Bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
Build your network, experience local business, and find out what local merchants have to offer all in one day. Visit the 2021 Lincoln Expo on Tuesday, October 13th at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Safely discover local business and shop local at the 2021 Lincoln Expo from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or come for Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Aggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Work out your stress and get back to feeling great at Planet Fitness. It's a great time to do your own thing. Now through October 13th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get back to a routine that's right for you with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Plus, check out the crowd meter in our free PF app for the best time to visit. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends October 13th. See club for details.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Today we have the half of the spillover. Mike Schaefer with us. Connor Happer is out today. I'll be filling in with you for a while, though, on your show. I think Schaefer, me and you can handle it for a little bit.
Yeah, what are you going to talk about?
It'll be good.
What are you going to talk about, Schaefer?
Well, we're going to talk about sports. It's a sports show. We'll talk about Nebraska because we're in the state of Nebraska.
So then
we'll talk about football because it's football season.
Okay, what else?
Specifically, it seems like you're looking for a little more.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We talk about slightly, and really, it's a weird situation for me because, as you guys well know, yesterday I wasn't playing at 100%.
Yeah, you were playing hurt yesterday after Monday night.
I went to bed at like 8 o'clock and woke up like an hour and 15 minutes after Happer had sent the text that he was pulling the ripcord and he was out.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch the game last night between the Red Sox and the Yankees. So
I didn't either. None of us did. I have a question.
Can't really talk about that.
Yeah. I'm curious to you because I know Schaefer has watched baseball. I've watched baseball. What is the last time you, Sip, have actually watched or cared about Major League Baseball's postseason? I thought about this yesterday. When's the last time Sip even cared about MLB
Okay,
postseason?
I tried when the Rangers were in. That would have been how many years ago?
2011.
2011.
When the Cardinals beat them?
Yeah, I can remember sitting in a hotel on a road trip and saying, okay, I'm going to try, because, I'm a sports writer. I'm like, I should know about what's going on. And I sat in a hotel room that night and tried to watch. I just couldn't. Just start flipping around, I changed it.
But you didn't care,
I think I changed it to 2020. I mean, there's this.
Yeah, but I mean, the point being, there's probably not a game in which he would care about.
Yeah.
But is there a time that you were invested in the postseason of baseball that you remember?
Yeah, when Reggie Jackson was playing. Yeah, since
the 70s.
Yeah, when
50 years ago he cared about baseball.
When the Yankees,
45 years
when
ago.
the Yankees and Dodgers were in series, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. You probably have to go back that far. Yeah, well, yeah.
Do you intend, Schaefer, to watch a lot of the MLB postseason, or do you care if the Indians not in or the Guardians not in it?
I will probably I'll have it on. Like, it's not going to be like appointment viewing for me. Maybe when the World Series gets here, or if there's a particularly interesting Game 5 or Game 7 or something along those lines.
Okay.
But it was the same as last year after Cleveland was knocked out and they had like that big sort of the larger postseason. It was just nice you throw it on the side TVs and you have whatever going on in the middle and good with that. So it's not. I always end up watching some of it. I rarely will sit down and watch a game start to finish if it doesn't involve Cleveland in the postseason. But it's something that I'll have on at the very least. And usually by the time the World Series comes around, I am somewhat invested in seeing who actually
Is
wins.
there actually like a team that's easy for people to root for this year that they don't watch baseball? Like,
Tampa Bay.
No, you can't root for Tampa Bay. The AL is boring, right? Everybody in the AL is boring. The Red Sox won
I
last
don't want to
night.
see a single team from the AL reach the World Series. So
That's impossible.
If people are looking for like teams to glom on, like the Brewers are fun.
Sure.
They're a fun team. I think the Giants.
Why are the Brewers fun?
One, they're not like a quintessential, they're always there sort of team.
Right.
Two, they have a couple really good frontline pitchers and Brandon Woodruff and Corbin Burns, and those are
they're good.
might be the best 1-2 in the playoffs this year. They have other kind of fun players throughout their roster. They're not like they have one superstar in Christian Yelich, but he hasn't played like a superstar. And so they're sort of winning in spite of what little production that he's given them, which is always kind of a fascinating storyline to me. Like when you've got a guy that everyone has seen be a generational talent and he's no longer a generational talent, but the team wins anyways. So they're interesting in that regard. I think the Giants are fascinating because they won 107 games. I couldn't tell you who their best player is because I don't know that they necessarily have one. They just get
It's like the Rays there, huh?
A little bit, but they're an older version of it because like Brandon Crawford's like 33-year-old shortstop who had the best season of his career. Buster Posey is 34 and he had the last 2 seasons was basically MIA. And then now all of a sudden has like 20 home run power and is hitting 300 again. If you need a Nebraska angle of it, former Creighton first baseman Darren Ruff spent several years over in Korea before the Giants signed him, and now he's back and playing for them.
He's playing first base.
He's playing first base. Chris Bryant is over there. He's probably the biggest name in their lineup.
Sure.
They traded for him at the deadline. They're starting pitching. There's not like one guy where you're like, oh man, that guy's really good. They just sort of scrap it together, and they've somehow done that for 107 wins, which is remarkable to me because this was a team projected to, I think, win 71 games this season. Like Happer had to sweat out to the 162nd game to see whether the Royals were going to go over the win-loss total. The Giants had it done in the second week of August. Like that's insane.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this. I wish I could follow it. I do. I admire Happer and Schaefer. And who else follows it in this building?
Well, I follow the Royals, but I don't really follow baseball that closely.
Right.
The problem is that
Who follows it in this
it's
building?
harder to watch.
Well,
it now.
Rico's a Yankees fan. I don't know that he's like 162 games invested, but he watched last
Is
night. I'm
DP?
sure.
Does DP follow
He's a
baseball?
Nationals
He's a
fan.
Nats fan.
Okay.
Nick's a Cubs fan.
I didn't know Bach liked the Red Sox.
Yes. Yep.
Tom is a Royals fan.
Correct. Yeah, he's a big
Mark,
Royals fan.
did you know Mark really likes baseball?
Mark Onweiler?
Yeah,
Really?
he likes the Royals and the
Yeah.
Mets.
His like favorite sport might be baseball.
Is that right? Does he sit down and watch it?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
has it
He
on
like-
in the back room a lot.
He's
if
been to
there's
several
baseball.
Big Ten tournaments before, like
Yeah.
in Minneapolis and Omaha. Like he was.
I had no idea until probably sometime this summer when I just sort of put it together. Like, wait, the only sport I ever see Mark really somewhat invested in seems to be baseball.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. And I like it. I like Parker has it on his
Well, the
phone
Brewers
or
are
his
good. Makes
alternate
sense.
computer a lot. He's two computer guy and he's got one set up and he's got watching the Brewers. I wish I was that guy.
It's harder to find it then, though, because Bally Sports
Is
has
it
all
that
these
hard?
different games. You got to pay for the streaming
I mean, it's
services. there.
not like if your team isn't the Royals,
Okay.
you can get access to it through MLB
Oh, this
TV.
is a Royals problem then?
Well, it is
Okay.
because it's a local network. So then if you don't have Spectrum or if you don't have like an actual package and you're trying to stream it, then you're at the mercy
Of what?
the streaming company working with the company that owns the Royals broadcasting rights. And if they don't agree to appear on the streaming package, then you're not going to be able to stream it that way. So it's, for other people living in Nebraska, the only games that get blacked out are the Royals. So it's for what, 30 or 29 other teams. It's less of an issue here. If you live in Iowa, you're blacked out by like 17.
That sucks.
Yeah, like
That's
Major
terrible.
League Baseball, which desperately needs people to pay attention as it is anyways, probably shouldn't make it harder for people to watch their games, particularly when you're paying for a service that advertises the ability to watch those games.
I think
That's horrendous.
I think I speak for Jake when I say we're not against baseball. I like it.
I like baseball too.
I like it too. I don't know why. I just feel like I almost can't follow it. I just don't have it. There's too much else going on. I just can't do it.
I mean, I would love to know what else is going on. Normally, July 22nd for you. Unless you're just really looking through your Lindy's catalog of Big Ten that was written on March 3rd.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. What I'm doing July 2nd, but the July 22nd. but
Like you're in a courtroom. Where were you the night of July 22nd? Juan Soto hit his 31st home run. What were you doing?
But I would genuinely like to be active following Major League Baseball. I have nothing against it. I like it. I just don't think I can do it. I think Jake's the same way.
Cardinals Dodgers tonight, 7:10 p.m. in the wild card game for the NL on TBS.
TBS. So that's a real station that a lot of people have.
People have access to it, but if I don't know how it works with MLB TV, if they do a playoff thing or not. I think they used to. I don't know if they do anymore.
Yeah, I think the new TV world works against Major League Baseball a little bit is what I'm picking up here. I mean, we just got rid of Spectrum, and I'm adjusting to the new
So
world.
what do you have now?
I watch a lot on Hulu.
Okay, but do you have like an over-the-air broadcast?
Yeah,
like, are you able
limited.
to watch?
Yeah, limited.
So like if you wanted to watch ESPN live, how could you do that?
I turn it to ESPN
On Hulu? So
not-
that's if you got rid of
Netflix,
Spectrum.
or-
I guess what I'm asking is like, what would you use to be able to watch ESPN?
See, I don't
Roku?
know. Maybe Roku.
Probably Roku.
Very early stage.
Those are
of this.
this is not an on-air
different
conversation.
Okay. We'll get out of here.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7! Hot route! Down, set, hut.
Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka play a match on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Was this feud all scripted, Schaefer?
I don't think so. I think they genuinely might have some ill feelings towards each other, and now they can pocket it money-wise. These match things, like they've done enough of them now where I don't know that it's appointment television for me anymore. Like in the pandemic, the one with Charles Barkley and Steph Curry, Mickelson, and whomever, like that one was really good. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, that one was pretty good. Since then, it's just felt like my interest in it is pretty low, but maybe because it's these two guys, but I kind of doubt it. It's the day after Thanksgiving, you said?
Yep, Black
I
Friday.
got Iowa, Nebraska. I won't be watching this.
I think it was scripted. These guys don't hate each other.
Oh, I don't think that's true, Jake.
A little bit.
Jake,
Might have set up
you
a little-
can
there's my
dislike somebody and be in the same room as them. We do that.
Do you really think that Bryson DeChambeau would take the flack he's gotten because of whining about the Brooksy comment for the sake
Bryson
of
does what he
advancing a
does.
storyline?
Yeah, Jake, I think you can dislike someone seriously and exist in a sporting environment. And so I think
We'll
it's
see
real.
if it appears real or not in the match. Sure. Happer and Schaefer is next with me for Happer. For Steve Sipple, I'm Jake Sorensen. See ya.